Education Dr. Jeffrey Hanley reminded students that schools are places of refuge, and violence will not be tolerated. He said, quote, "Our schools are safe havens, and we expect all students to adhere to the school's rules, which are designed to create a safe and respectful learning environment. This includes showing respect to your teachers, peers, and school property. Bullying, harassment, and any form of discrimination will not be tolerated. The culture in our schools must be a positive one. Positive behavior is essential for a productive learning environment. Your behavior not only affects your learning, but also the learning of those around you. Let us all strive to be kind, considerate, and supportive of one another," end quote. Addressing the issue of promptitude, Minister Hanley remarked, "Students, we encourage you to be punctual, attentive, and engaged in your classes." He asserted that the recently introduced HERE guidelines policy to curb discrimination in schools must be adhered to, and it takes a collective effort to ensure that all students comply. I agree with the comment that was made with regards to violence will not be tolerated. And I believe that the schools and its leadership, the Ministry of Education, must stand their ground. There are children in schools today that are showing signs of violence or participating in violence, or being very violent, basically, to put it simple. And I believe one of the reasons why this trend it continues is because there is no seriousness in terms of dealing with it. If you have in your books that any child who breaks this or that rule or whatever should be suspended for X amount of weeks, then you ought to stick to that. Because if you do not do that, I believe you are helping to foster an environment where children feel as though they could come to school, break the rules, and do as they like, and there will be absolutely no consequence for that. So on one hand, you're saying that this is the rule, and this is what the book says, but the rule is broken, and because of who the child is or whatever influence that they or their parents may have, you have decided, well, we're not going to. Again, these things create the environment or the breeding ground for violence to continue in schools. And so it is good that the minister said that violence will not be tolerated. But this cannot just be words. The schools, the ministry must stand their ground. Because we must understand that this issue is one that should be tackled at the root. And so if we allow it to get out of control in school, whether it be at the primary level, secondary level, then it is going to come to the point where we won't be able to control, and we won't be able to have control of the situation. Like today, we are dealing with the issue of crime and violence, particularly murder, homicides in St. Kitts and Nevis. And our government has taken the decision to tackle it as a public health issue, and I believe in the coming days they will be having another stakeholder consultation, or a launch rather, with regards to the tackling crime as a public health issue. What I'm saying simply is that within our schools, primary and secondary, we must stick to the rules and not necessarily be hard on the children, because sticking to the rules, I would say, doesn't necessarily mean that you be tough and rough on the children. But you stand your ground to both to both students and parents. Because unfortunately in today's society there are parents who encourage the bad behavior of children. There are parents who support the bad behavior of children. And those very same parents are the ones who probably wonder why their child have become delinquent, while their child is now considered at risk, because they did not do what should have been done at an early stage. Just the other day I was having a conversation about crime and the different causes of it, and basically having this conversation with somebody, and we were trying to get to, not that we would have gotten to, but we were trying to get to the root cause. What do you think causes criminal activity in particular? What do you think pushes one to commit a homicide? And the conversation went from that into crime prevention. And the person was making the point that crime prevention is not the sole responsibility of our armed forces, in particular the police. Crime prevention includes our social groups and organizations, youth groups and organizations, the church, the family, parents, and the community. That is crime prevention. Crime prevention is not necessarily installing, that's the last resort, let me say that, in terms of installing cameras and having security detection things in place and whatever. But crime prevention is ensuring that children, boys and girls, are engaged in meaningful and engaging activities in their schools, in their community, and wherever they are, so that there is this positive influence in their life at a very young age. For example, the recently concluded Sound Your Future camp. You find something positive for the children to participate in. That is all a part of crime prevention. And so the Department of Youth, the Department of Social Services, all of these different units form part of crime prevention in tackling or meeting with our at-risk youth, or meeting with young people in general, and getting them involved in positive things that will make a difference, a positive difference here in St. Kitts and Nevis, and not waiting until it is too late, and then we pump millions of dollars into national security, and we wonder why the issue is not being addressed. So crime is not something I believe you could fix today for tomorrow, or today for next year, or 2 years down the road. It is something that must be addressed strategically and without emotion, and without throwing the blame game and saying that, well, it is your fault, or it is your fault, or it is my fault. But allowing our children to participate in activities that they enjoy, positive and meaningful activities, on the surface it might seem like, oh, that's just another activity. But at the end of the journey, you're going to see the positive results. Your child may be very much interested in the performing arts, or your child might be very much interested in track and field. Support them in that endeavor. Don't punish them by saying, well, you're not going to get to perform, or you're not going to get to participate in track and field. And you may think that you're punishing the child, but really and truly, you're punishing the society. And so these are the things that children must do so that we can have a better community and a safer community. So that at the end of the road, we don't have to be pumping millions and spending all of this money in crime prevention, when crime prevention really and truly should have been at the early stage of that child's life, right there in kindergarten. Yes, we have the outside influence of social media and the internet, and parents must play their role in ensuring that the content that their children are looking at is safe and suitable for their child's age. But that's a conversation for another time. But crime prevention should not have just started today. It should have started since yesterday. And so if we are to ever aggressively tackle the issue, that is how we should tackle it from the beginning. And so all of these different programs that are happening, the Sound Your Future and different things, are the programs that were once a thing and now just there, not active. They need to come back on stream. That is when we are going to send a message that we are serious about crime prevention. And crime is not just homicides. And I think we've also lost sight of that. Yes, over the past few months, that has been the focus. But that is not the only form of criminal activity. It is 16 minutes past the 11 o'clock hour. You are listening to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio, 96.1 FM. I am Devonne Cornelius, your host, and thank you for joining me in the program for today. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we will open the phone lines and allow you to call and make your contribution. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.
Hello. This is Harper.
Hey people, back to school is cool at Harper. We've got excitement mid-August to mid-September. Spend $100 and get a chance to spin our prize wheel and qualify to enter our grand draw September 18 to swim with the dolphins. Plus, everyone enjoys a 10% discount to mid-September and additional discount on that day. So there's no need to shop online at all, as Harper simply has the largest selection of all. We've got extended hours to 5 p.m. on back to school Saturdays to serve you even better. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram or chat with us via WhatsApp at 665-4878 or call us on 466-6500. We've got back to school discounts and excitement at Harper's.
Welcome back to The Edge. We'll head to the phone lines. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Devon.
Yes, how are you doing today?
I good. You know I'm going to call now? Okay, let me go here. Well, when I used to be in the park, you and GQ never born yet. Because my thing is bicycle racing. Mm-hmm. But I am also concerned about the youths. Because the youths learn what they see and hear. And they can only learn from those who got more experience than them. And they portray certain things that they learn from us. No. I am saying that the devil find work for idle hands to do. And when the youth them do not have anything positive and constructive for their future in life, they do a lot of negative things. And then we the adults, quick to point finger on them. We pointing one finger and we calling and blaming you. Oh, the youth them this, the children them this. The this and the flinging stone and the swing bad with and that kind of thing. But what are we the adults doing for them? No. I've been saying this here for years and I'm going to repeat it again until something is done. Mm-hmm. Once per year, every year, there is a sport that takes place down at the ferry terminal. Aquatic sports, and some youths have been used for fun and laughter in a boxing match. Well, after that day, nobody takes up the youth them and make sure that they train properly in that boxing game, that they can come something and live from the sport. And I am calling on whosoever have the interest and the time to take up those youths and train them to be good, come up good boxers, that they can come world champion. There is a champion from Monkey Hill, a little poor black boy by the name of Livingstone Bramble. He left St. Kitts when he was a little boy, and he was in St. Croix. And he get interested in the boxing over there, and then he went up to the States, and he became the World Boxing Council lightweight champion. He beat the champion at that time, who everybody, the champion, were knocking out, and this little poor boy from Monkey Hill knocked him out. And then the loser asked for a rematch. And St. Kitts Monkey Hill boy give him a rematch and bang him again twice. Livingstone Bramble and others in St. Kitts can come to that if somebody take them up and take them away from the negative things that they will do with so much time on their hands. What do you think?
Mm-hmm. I love that suggestion, getting them involved in something that they love and something that I think would help to put St. Kitts and Nevis. Well, we are already on the map, but you get the point that I'm trying to make. But essentially, it's getting our children involved in positive, life-changing activities. I think that is one of the things that must be a priority if we are to steer them away from participating in illegal activities.
That's right. You know, I mean, Devon, if I wheel them now in the garage, I will take them up as much as I love to be on my bike. I would take them up and make sure that they get the proper training and everything. The diet, everything. Make sure they keep away from the negative things. Because we can't afford to blame the youth them and we're not doing anything to help them. Mm-hmm. Talking ain't going to help because we can't tell, hey, look, man, you stop that. Come on, so. No, it takes more than talk. We need action behind the talking. So thank you, everyone. I'm going to continue to listen.
All right, caller. Thank you for your contribution to the program. We have another caller on the line. Let's take this call. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm not doing too bad for my age.
All right.
And good morning to the listeners home and abroad. Cargo here. Devon, on preventative towards youth concerning crime. No, that problem is an easily fixed problem, you know. People are taking this and making it a very hard problem. Mm-hmm. It's not a hard problem, you know.
Also,
we have to create activities, we have to create action and avenues to keep the youth them occupied. Devon, I born in the 60s, right? In the 60s, 70s, 80s coming up, we had activities, and here what was our activities? We had sheep, goat, guinea pigs, rabbit. We had cattle, donkeys, all kind of things. Those were passed on from our uncles, grandfathers, grandmothers. We had yard fowl and all those things to look after. So we were occupied, even during our vacation, right? We had things to do. Every afternoon you had to go look after animals on your way from school and when you reach home from school. You had things to do. You had playtimes, eh? But here, Devon, those days they just say gone. But they are not gone, you know, Devon, they are right here. And here we can prevent our youth by creating things for them to do. We have all kinds of work happening in this federation. We have our youths on weekends. What they're doing home at weekends. You know what we do with them? We buy a game and we buy a TV and give them the game and the TV. We buy a laptop and we buy tablet and all kind of thing and we give them that. And we buy a lot of snacks and sweet drinks and put them in the fridge and we go about our business. But how about Devon? We have fishermen, we have mechanic shops, we have carpenter shops, we have all kind of trade work here. On a vacation, what the youth them doing? They're up and down, running up and down the home, playing games in the house, they're on the TV, they're on the internet and all kind of thing. But how about taking these same youths to a work site and teaching them a trade, mechanic.
But don't you think?
Electrical,
Don't you think that these things are happening? Because I know of people who
very, very, very rare, Devon. Very little.
Okay.
What we need to do when I was going back here, junior high school, which is now the Washington Archibald High School, I was one of the first students in 1980 when it opened, right? And at afternoons when I done work, I went to do gardening in people's garden, and that money used to buy my uniforms and things for school. So we were occupied, right? I had rabbit, I had guinea pig, right? So I was occupied. So we didn't have these crime activities that we are having now. The youth them have too much free time on their hand, and we're not creating the avenues, and we're not creating nothing for them to do but give them tablets, laptop games, and all kind of things to play at home. So while they are young and the brain develops fast and they could learn easily, why not we take them to all of these trade areas on the weekends and on the vacation? Then you know what will happen in 2-3 years? Those youths will be in school and they will be qualified skill and trade people while they are in school. You know what will happen, Devon? The parents, right, and other interested people will start them off in business while they are in school. They wouldn't have no time to join a gang, and the streets wouldn't be taking them because they would be doing something positive, nation building, creating opportunities and jobs for other people. That is the easy solution to take our youth from the street and from the gangs. Again, Devon, I will be back.
All right, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution to the program. You're listening to the Edge and ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. The phone lines remain open, and we take your calls at 465-2555 or 662-8674. It's 11:27, and we wrap up this program at noon for our newscast. I think we have some callers on the line, so we're going to take those callers and continue our conversation. You have a caller there? No? Okay. We're just waiting for some callers to come in. 465-2555 or 662-8674. Thank you for your contribution there, Mr. Brown. I hear what you're saying. I was making the point that I believe that some of the suggestions that you made are already in place in terms of children. Perhaps there needs to be more. I totally understand and get that point. But we do have young people who are involved in positive activities after school. Instead of loitering, they perhaps have afternoon classes. I know of children who participate in extracurricular activities. They may be involved in dance, they may be involved in steel pan, which is now a big thing here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And so there are children, but I get the point that there needs to be more, and you know, them having too much free time on their hands. And then you also have the case where the technology is now raising the children. There's some parents who believe that all that child needs is a device and that's it. But what is on that device is the other question, and that's the conversation I believe that needs to be had at another time. But that too, I believe, is affecting our children. The truth is, there are children and there are parents who are doing, I would say, the right thing, ensuring that their children are not exposed to certain things, ensuring that their children are involved in positive nation building, what I would say, nation building activities. And there are some who simply are not. There are some who can't wait for school to be over so they can go on later and be on the streets at times that they should not be. And that is the harsh reality. It's 11:29, so we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue our conversation here on The Edge. Let's take this break, and we'll be right back.
ZIZ Radio, entertaining the nation, enjoyed by the world.
Join us on ZIZ TV for Youth Lounge with Skanipo, a talk show on vital topics such as tourism, entrepreneurship, education, religion, sex education, and mental health, featuring experts from St. Kitts and Nevis and the Caribbean region. Tune in live on the first and third Wednesday of every month at 8:30 p.m. on ZIZ TV.
Get ready to ignite your Tuesday nights with a show that's as educational as it is entertaining. Welcome to Pleasure Pulse, your weekly guide to the world of sex education. Join Roma every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. exclusively on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. It's the perfect way to spice up your midweek routine and get answers to all your burning questions. Whether you're looking for relationship advice or curious about the art of intimacy, Roma's got you covered. Pleasure Pulse, every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. only on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. Don't miss out. Your sex education journey starts this Tuesday with Roma as your guide.
The future is unknown. Protect your life, your family, and your valuables from unforeseen circumstances. Let National Caribbean Insurance give you the peace of mind that you so deserve. At NCI, we offer a suite of affordable insurance plans that can be tailored to ease your financial burden. We aim to deliver exceptional products to satisfy all your insurance needs. Whether life, health, motor, or property insurance, NCI has the right solution for you. Our friendly and knowledgeable sales professionals are ready and able to assist you. Let National Caribbean Insurance Company Limited help you to prepare for the unexpected. We serve, we protect, we satisfy. That's NCI.
Welcome back to The Edge on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I'm Devonne Cornelius, your host, and thank you for joining me on the program for today. The phone lines are open, and we take your calls at 465-2555 or 718-577-2916, and our cell number is 662-8674. That is 662-8674. So I was making the point, continuing where the last caller left off from in terms of our children being involved in positive activities. And of course, this I would say falls under the Department of Youth Empowerment here in St. Kitts and the Department of Youth in Nevis and Social Services. Now, this is not to suggest that those departments are not doing what they're supposed to be doing and are not having the necessary activities and programs rolled out. They are, and I can definitely attest to that. I think what the consensus is for there to be an increased presence in the community and ensuring that our children are engaged in these activities from an early age. And it should not just be the boys, because you assume that only boys participate in illegal activity, but there are girls too, you understand? And it should not just be those who are considered at risk, but all across the board. All across the board. No picking and choosing and saying, well, let's target this particular person, and you have no reason to back that decision. Do we have any callers on the line? We'll take some calls, 465-2555 or 718-577-2916. So that's the point that I'm making, getting our children involved in positive nation-building activities that would help them to become better versions of themselves. That is what is definitely needed in our community, or else I believe we'll just continue to spin in mud. We won't be making much of a difference with all of the things that we are trying now that should have been implemented at an earlier stage, right? And that is the issue that we have. If we don't have these activities rolled out, then we will continue to spin in mud, and then we will continue to wonder, well, what is the issue? Why are we not tackling this issue? Why is crime not curbing? Why is it not going down? And I believe these are the questions that we will eventually begin to ask ourselves if we don't have these activities in place. Again, on the surface, you may not see the benefit of them, but in the long run, it is beneficial. It not only impacts the life of that child, but it also impacts the life of the children around that child, the other people around that child. It impacts the life of, or it impacts rather the community in which they are growing up, because that is one less person that you have to deal with in this issue of crime and violence. You understand? So we need to get serious. Perhaps there's some who are serious, but we need to get very, very serious if we are to tackle this issue, and we ought not to shy away from what our responsibility is, and that is to keep St. Kitts and Nevis safe. At the same time, we do have the outside influence, the regional influence, and the international influence in terms of a number of factors. What we see on the internet, the music that we listen to, the music that is around our children, all of these things are factors, I believe, contribute to delinquent behavior and crime and violence. But we must first tackle the issue here at home, in our homes, before we can tackle it at the end of the road, right? There are parents who know that their children are involved in illegal activities, and they continue to support it. And I say support it because they are not reporting it. They're not trying to speak with their child. They're not trying to say, hey, let us, why are you involved in this? And then at the end of the road now, when that child ends up involved in something, that same parent is calling on everybody else but themselves. And so they begin to blame the church and say the church has not been supportive, the church has not been doing their part. They begin to blame the community and say, well, so-and-so didn't offer assistance, and so-and-so didn't offer assistance. They begin to blame the different groups that the child or the children were a part of. They begin to blame the police. They begin to blame the government, the politicians. And that is where we are going wrong. That is where we are heading down the wrong road. But again, this is something that must be tackled at the root from the beginning if we are serious in aggressively addressing this situation. At the press conference that the police hosted the other day, they spoke about how guns, well, they responded to a question that was posed about guns coming into St. Kitts and Nevis, and you continue to hear us make the point that guns are not manufactured here. We do not make them here, but yet they are here, and they are not no simple guns. They appear to be very powerful, and the $1,000,000 question is, how are they getting here? How are they getting here? I don't think you could just go online and order a gun and bring it into the country, right? And so there is somebody who is working with somebody, and that somebody is working with somebody. But are we serious? And do we have the tools and the mechanism to address these things? And it's not just here. It's like a regional or a global network. You understand? And that is the harsh reality. And so that is something that must be addressed not by one country, but a region as a whole. We'll take some calls here on the edge. Just send to the phone lines and we'll take this call. Hello, caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Devon, Carl Brown here again.
Mm-hmm.
Devon, the guns are getting in here. All of us know how they are getting in here. We have a border that say, come in. That's how they're getting in here. Our borders are open, they are not closed. We don't have enough Coast Guard vessels to be out there, to be stopping and searching on the sea. How come we don't go stop and search on the sea? We have it on the land. You see, you're laughing. How come we are not having stop and search on the sea? And we know how the guns them get in here, right? And it's not only guns, human trafficking and animals trafficking too. And people are not looking into these, the authorities is not looking into these things. We have human trafficking, we have gun trafficking, and we have animals trafficking. Right? Our borders are open and say, welcome, come in. Right? These things that I just named out are getting in here by our local fishermen, our local fishers. They are getting in here by the cabin cruisers, the yachts, and other big boats that comes into our harbor and dock up all over the places with no customs and immigration and whatever searching and doing what they're supposed to do. So that is it, Devon. That is how the guns are coming in here. Yeah, 1 or 2 may come to the customer, 1 or 2 custom officer may turn the head or the face or the back. Right? Because they know what they will be getting later down. Right? But that is minimal today so. But the borders are open, Devon. We hear the Prime Minister saying a few months ago that he went down, must be somewhere far down there in the AUE or whatever this country's name, and he was getting 3 more Coast Guard. I don't hear none of the reporters them asking him what has become of that project that he set out on.
When was that?
He said it a few months ago.
Okay, I like
that he was getting some more Coast Guard. He also said a few months ago that he was getting another 2 or 3 generators to upgrade and increase our power at the power station. Right? He went down there for those things. May hear nobody asking him at the round table and at the press conference about what is the progress, what is the update and these things. Right? The other thing, Devon, is this. So much rain is coming. We have the best rain season in the last 10 years happening this year. But you know the problem, Devon? All over the island, people are still having water problem. And you know why they're having water problem? Devon, with lack of catchment. We were bawling all the years that the decrease in rainfall is what having us have the shortage and the rationing of water. Well, we have a significant increase in rainfall now. But Devon, here what we lacking? Catchment. We ain't got no catchment to catch the rainwater now. We get the rain what we been asking God for. We getting all the rain and more now, Devon, but we don't have no catchment to catch that water so that people could have water on a 24 hours basis and not people water cutting down that you can't even, your machine can't even wash. That is how it is right now in Shadwell thing. On a daily and nightly basis, our water is very, very low. You put a glass, it takes so long to fill a glass of water. Much more bucket, much more to wash your clothes in the machine.
All right.
And we're having all this rain, but no catchment. God.
All right, Carla. Thank you so much for your contribution to the program. I totally understand where you're coming from. We'll tell about the phone lines and we'll take this call. Hello, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, Carla. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Tell Carl not me, not about no gun. My topic is different, but about children. I hear Pastor Jeffrey was saying something about Kayan school. So why got them up and down all about? School closed almost 3 months now. But is it foolish people, children, who put them there? And mulling your school, my school, still to do. No ideas. Please, I go do my school. See you.
Why you calling people foolish? You can't be calling people foolish. You don't want nobody call you foolish. Don't do that, man. The phone lines remain open at 11:45, and we take your calls at 465. We have a caller. Let's take this call. Hello, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hello. I'm just calling to back up. How are you?
I am doing well. And you?
I'm good too.
All right.
I just calling to back up what Carl said about the catchment of the water.
Okay.
When the when they had the estate owners, them used to clean up the catchment of the mountain. But since they don't have the estate no more, everything gone wild. That's why so much water coming from the mountain in the guts and all over. Because the estate owners used to go up and clean the catchment of the mountain. And so now nobody doing it, so that's why you see that they are lack of. I mean, they will be lacking of water because there are more houses and more water using than before. But I don't think it'll be so bad if they continue cleaning the catchment of the mountain. You know, so that's my two pieces of backup. Carry that.
Thank you so much for your contribution to the program. You're listening to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio. Call us at 465-2555 or 718-577-2916. And our cell number is 662-8674. If you have the callers, we'll take a break. And when we come back, we'll continue our conversation here on The Edge until noon. Stay tuned.
Whether it's a dress store on 4th Street, a snacket in Kayon, or a village grocery in St. Paul's, our small businesses play an important role in our economy. By supporting these businesses, you are helping to create or keep a job or two and to revive our economy. Support our local small businesses. Buy local and keep the doors to our small businesses open.